will show you a few preparations for meat, even though you may not use this meat or that meat, and then shrimp. So I have some pork, which this is pork belly. You want to pour the water out and use a little bit and tap it dry before you're cutting it. Wash your hands and grab a knife, slice it. And it'll look kind of like layers, right? Okay. And then you want to use this way. Okay, I'll just show a little bit here. To use this way, and then you want to cut it. Okay, to marinate the meat, so I would have a little more than this. And then you want to do a little bit cornstarch, just half a teaspoon. And then you want to pour a little bit vegetable oil, about I would say 1 tablespoon, and then mix it and put a little salt. Let it marinate it for at least 15 minutes. All right, so for chicken, I will get the boneless and skinless chicken side because the chicken side has more flavor. And same thing, you want to pour out whatever water and get your chicken out. And use a paper towel, tap it dry. And wash your knife or use a different knife. And to cut it, for chicken, I can use another way of slicing. I'll show you this. It's sort of a sideways slice, and you kind of, so it's sort of, you make it sideways, kind of like 45 degrees, and then you make, and your piece gonna look kind of like this, but not thick, but thin. Okay, so that's gonna be okay. I'll cut that other piece in a little bit. All right, let me show you how to marinate it. You can do a little bit soy sauce and cooking wine and no fancy stuff too, but I normally before I cook it, I just marinate for 15 minutes. Oil, cornstarch, a little bit salt. Okay, so we have did the prep for pork and chicken, and I'm actually not gonna use all that chicken. So this silicone thing I found is really helpful. So you can just put in there. It's already marinating. I'm gonna put it in the freezer, and then if I need to use it some other time, I'll just unfreeze it. And I think that's a good amount. I did put a little bit soy sauce. You want to wash your hand after you touch any raw meat. So for the pork, I put a little bit of soy sauce act as the salt, so I didn't put salt in and oil. And then here's some shrimp if you don't eat meat or chicken. This is basically, I like to get the one is uncooked, and then just a tail. This is from Costco, and you pull the tails off because my family doesn't like to eat that. And there's 2 ways to cut it, and you want to use a different cutting board than pork or meat. There's one way you can do just chunks, big chunks, okay? Or another way is a little bit more fancy. You want to find the fatter end and then just slice it, but not all the way. So it's kind of like a butterfly basically, and when it's cooked it's gonna curl up and looks fancy. And you want to do a little bit of oil, a little bit salt, no cornstarch. For you don't want the cornstarch, give that so for the pork I put a little bit of soy sauce act as the salt, so I didn't put salt in and oil. And then here's some shrimp if you don't eat meat or chicken. This is basically I like to get the one is uncooked, and then just a tail. This is from Costco, and you pull the tails off because my family doesn't like to eat that. And there's two ways to cut it, and you want to use a different cutting board than pork or meat. There's one way you can do just chunks, big chunks, okay? Or another way is a little bit more fancy. You want to find the fatter end and then just slice it, but not all the way. So it's kind of like a butterfly basically, and when it's cooked it's gonna curl up and looks fancy. And you want to do a little bit of oil, a little bit salt, no cornstarch. For you don't want the cornstarch, give that meat tenderness, but seafood doesn't need that. Okay, well, and I'm putting a little bit mushroom. So I'm just showing you how I do normally at home. And you just slice it, and mushroom you want to wet it with a paper towel. Just don't wash it because it will suck water in. Just clean it with a wet paper towel and then slice it. Carrot and onion. So for carrot, off the skins, cut the ends and the ends, okay, and then I want to slice it half, so then you have a half that you can hold on to, okay, and slice it this way, okay. And if you can see it, it still look kind of wide, so you actually want to turn it sideways and then slice it again, so they end up look fairly thin. That later. For onions, you want to cut the end and the other ends. Okay, now you have a flat end and the other ends. Okay, now you have a flatter surface. You want to slide this half. You actually now want to peel the outer layer off, so you have this nice purple layer inside. Okay, so you just actually slice it like this. And now you can see you get these long strings because the onion is curled like this. So okay, so when you get to the ended onion, this part is kind of floppy and hard to hold. You want to turn it down and just do that. So you end up have the same long strings. You may start having tears also. Running some water and look at it, that helps. Otherwise you just tear through it. I heard if you wear glasses, that helps. So peel it. And cut away. I got a little bit bean sprout. If you don't have it, that's okay. I'm gonna use the bean sprout. Bean sprout shrunk a lot, so I'm just gonna wash it. So you want to have a good rinse. Pick out any of the parts that doesn't look good. You don't want to bruise it, so bean sprout would actually bruise very easily. And use a colander so that way we're just bringing out stuff. Okay, so that's the bean sprout and stand by. And all these things you need to prep in the before and also wash it and cut. So it does take a lot of preparation, but the cooking part is not that bad, but you cook everything separately. So I'm keeping everything separately because they go in different times. They don't go at once. Okay. All right, the water is ready for the pasta. And we want to probably cook the two pasta different because one's thick, one's thin. And cook it al dente. That's how you want it. Which for the thin one, I would think about, I'm gonna do one at a time because it's too much. 2 or 3 minutes for the thin one. For the thick one, I would say 5 minutes top. And get your colander ready so you can pour it in. You have a bowl probably, so you can pour the pasta in there afterwards. And put some oil on top so it doesn't stick. So this is the thick pasta. I'm gonna rinse it. You want to oil it and then toss it and then drizzle a little bit more oil so it doesn't stick.